Good evening, all. I hope I am audible. Yes, yes, good evening. And then we can start the session, right? So, good evening, all. First of all, welcome to this webinar, all of you. Myself, Dr. Ganesh. I am currently a faculty at Drona. I'm also a faculty in the Department of Kaumara Bhritya in the School of Ayurveda, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham in Kerala. So, I understand in this webinar, there's a heterogeneous group of attendees here. Some of you are already registered students of Drona. Some of you are old students of Drona, just here to know what's happening here. And some of you are actually new at Drona, who have come to understand more about our institute and also what we do at Drona. So for those new students here, I would like to give a short intro about Drona. So Drona has been in this field of Ayurvedic company. Sorry, I think I got cut. Drona has been in this field of Ayurvedic competitive examination for the past 15 years. Not just been here, but has been and is still the #1 institute in India. So why we call ourselves the #1 institute? It's mainly based on our results only. Okay, so in the past 4 All India PG examination, in 3 years, our students got the All India first rank. In 2019, 21, 22, Drona students secured the All India first rank. Not only the first rank, the major chunk of the very prestigious stipendary PG seats were secured by Drona students only. If you see all the major colleges in India, all the major PG institutes in India, the national institutes, majority of our students are from Drona only. They're now doing their PG or now just passed out PG. So the question always arises. We see in other common groups in Telegram and all, how is it that Drona is able to consistently perform in these examinations? What is the magic they are doing? Are they cheating? Are they getting the question paper beforehand? So such many rumors are there. So I believe there's no magic in Drona and all. It's purely because of the hard work and smart work done by our students. We don't do any magic. The magic is done by our students. They actually listen to the gurus at Drona. They follow everything to the T at Drona. That's why they are able to crack the exam. So first of all, I would like to break a myth that is there. If you join Drona, you will definitely get a PG seat. That's a big blunder. Okay. Just because you join Drona, you won't get a PG seat. There's nothing like that. Okay. Only if you are ready to work hard, only if you are ready to follow what our gurus are telling, if you put an effort, if you follow whatever our experienced faculty are telling to you, then you will get a PG. That we can assure. Okay, and one of the major things that our faculty actually advises our students is to do a in-depth question paper analysis after each exam. At Drona, for all the current students and old students of Drona, they know that after each exam, we have a Guru's meet, which we call the Guru's meet, in which the faculty at Drona actually discusses the questions, the previous Drona question paper. They discuss the question in depth. They go through each and every question. What was the answer? How you could have found out the answer from that? Even if you don't know the answer, how you could have got the answer? What was the small tricks and codes that you can use to actually reach that answer? All these small things are told by the gurus, and the students who actually listen to them, they can actually grasp that, find some extra. Because if you see All India PG examination, in All India level, there are many students, many studious students. All colleges produces at least 10 very high quality students each year. And the number of stipendary PG seats is very less. So even if they were very studious, very high performing students in their UG days, that same may not be true when they come to this competitive multiple choice questions, because there's a small tweak that is needed for that. Even if you were very good in the writing the theory exams, for writing multiple choice questions, some extra elements, some extra yukti is needed for that. Okay, so, and also one of the important thing is you all know that for All India PG entrance examination, there are 120 questions and 120 minutes. That is, for one question, you will get only 1 minute for writing the answer. So within 1 minute, you have to read that question, try to find out answer from that 4 options. It may appear simple, but it may not be so simple if you are prepared well for the exam. Because the tension, the mental stress on that day will be very high. Even if you know the answer, you will be reading it thrice before actually marking the right answer. So at least 50 to 60 seconds it will take to actually write the questions which you already know. So just imagine about questions that you don't know. So 3-4 minutes will go off, and finally you may be only attending or reading properly 80 questions out of the 120 questions. But I believe students of Drona have an advantage in that aspect. We actually give advices to how to answer questions fast, how to use codes, how to use mnemonics to answer faster, how to answer questions they don't know the answer. Even if they don't know the answer, using some yukti or logic or something, they can find the answer. Such small things. So this is one of the trade secret of Drona that we actually revealing today. So one sample, that's what we wanted to do today. Our faculty will be discussing the top 50 questions that we believe are crucial for next year's exam. They may include previous year questions also, and also some special questions of Drona. So I'm not taking much of the time. I'm actually going to hand over to our 2 faculties who are here today. I'll just introduce to them. First, we have with us Dr. Neetu C. Mohan. She's a faculty of Drona. She's MT Kaya Chikitsa. She's a practitioner, and she will be handling some questions we will be discussing with you. Welcome, Dr. Neetu ma'am. And we also have with us Dr. Namita, who is our own student last year, 2022. She was the All India rank 40. So very recently, she secured a prestigious rank for Drona, and she is actually in her counseling and all. So she knows, she's very fresh. She knows what all troubles you all are going through preparing for next year's PG entrance examinations. So we also have a very recent student who went through whatever you went through, and she will also explain how she answered the questions, how she learned some things from Drona. And okay, so I will spoken enough. Now I will hand over the mic to, sorry, Dr. Namita. Dr. Namita, please.
Thank you so much, Ganesh sir, for that introduction. Everything that I was able to achieve this year was due to my Drona Institute and gurus like Ganesh sir. So first of all, let me say a warm welcome to everyone out here. I see a lot of students from all over India here. Let me say that I was going through the same mentality that you were going through just a couple of months back, just a few months back. So I joined Drona Institute along with my house urgency. So I know that there is a workload. I studied in Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum. So we had a good amount of workload. Along with that, I was able to prepare for my entrance because of the way that the classes were handled in Drona. It was not a strenuous, heavy work. Everything was made light in the form of stories, codes, and examples. Everything was explained again and again so that we were able to grasp it. So to all the students and house surgeons out there, I just want to tell you that you don't have to worry at all. You are in the right place. And to the people who are studying for the second time, by this time, you might have understood what your mistakes were. So now that you are here with us at Drona, we'll help you overcome those mistakes and score a better score next time, score a better seat next time. So what makes Drona special is that we have different subject experts for each subject. So it's not just about you making stories and codes here and there. These are prepared by experts who have been in this field of teaching and clinical practice. So you are in the right place. And then here, I think we can use the tagline where learning meets fun. Even if you are handling a very serious, important topic, you will be laughing, you will be enjoying what you are learning. And you have enough live classes, recorded classes, everything. By the end of it, you will be able to plan your studies. Even without the help of the gurus, you'll be able to plan, you'll be able to make your own codes and notes. That is what they equip you with. To make that mark yourself, so that for the further exams after this PG and when many exams will come in your life, and the basic principles on how to crack the exam that Drona teaches you will stay with you. I'll share some of the study techniques that my guru, Dr. GB George sir, had shared with us. One is the normal one, shloka. If you have learned the shloka in your previous years, go for it. Make it clear. If you know you are good at it, make it very sharp. The second thing is logic. Yukti is very important for us, right? So apply it wherever you can. You analyze it. You find what clicks. You look at the question. You stare at it. You understand it. You read each options again and again. You find a connection. Then find a link. Then obviously there are the codes which will be given by the instructors and which you can prepare for yourself. Then categorize. When you're studying everything, it's a vast syllabus. You have lots of subjects. So categorize. Then if you are a visual learner, go for pictures. If you're drawing or if you are good at making posters, do that and you can learn using that. So we are short of time, so I'll go into some of the questions which was asked last year and some questions which we are expecting, seeing the pattern of the question paper. So why we are doing this? Why we are studying the codes? Why we are putting time to a whole session like this? Is because in the exam hall, like sir said, 120 minutes just goes by in the blink of an eye. See, I was sitting there. I don't know how fast the time went because you have to read the questions very carefully. You have to make sure that you've marked the right option. You have to double check it. So it takes a lot of time. So if you have the right tricks up your sleeve, you can save a lot of time answering the question paper. Not just that, while studying also, you will have lots of portion to revise at the last moment. So it is impossible to go through the detailed notes which you have written for everything. You take your code book, you go through it, you ask your friends, you communicate, you tell them a story, they'll ask you questions. Like that, you will be able to study faster too. So now I think we'll go with the slides. Dr. Nidhu, can you share the screen?
I hope it's visible. Dr.
Yes,
Namita?
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, carry on.
Okay, so the last year, like I said, 120 questions were there, and I was able to attend 116. It's not because I knew the 116 answers there. It was because that we were able to, I'll explain the codes on how to get to the answers. This is the subject-wise division of previous 2022 question paper. It varies every year, so I just put the slide to give you an idea. If you want, you can take a screenshot or it will be put up in the YouTube video. I think we can go to the next one. See, you can see the amount of subjects we have. They have covered almost all the subjects. So it's not like we can say this is unimportant, let's leave that. So now let us look at the first question. In the last few years, the books and author session is becoming very popular in the question papers. Mostly it is about Brihatrai. So when you're preparing the Idihasa portion, please do not leave it out. I know it is not a glamorous subject like Shalya, KZ, etc., but it will surely get you that 4 marks. So when you study books and authors, please remember to study the commentaries of Brihatrais. Here you can see this was the question asked last year. You see this question, you have to crack it in 1 minute. See, there are 4 big names, 8 names you have to go through. What do? What the code that we learned was, see, Charaga Upaskara. You can take Upaskara, it means like an equipment in Hindi and like a gift in some regional languages. So whatever you take, equipment or a gift, it was handed, Charaga handed over the equipment or the gift to Yogi. He gifted it to the Yogi. You learn it like that. So you can match it, Charaga Upaskara, Yogendranath Sen. The next one, okay, I'm take it in a light manner. We can say that Charaga punched Swami. Charaga gave the gift to Yogi and he punched the Swami. So Charaga Panjika was written by Swami Kumar. Then sometimes you may not get the correct code for all the 4 options. So you can make, seeing the options, you can mix and match. See, Nirandara Bhada Vyakya. Here, Nirandara means continuous, repetition, etc. Here, when you see the options, you look at J Jada. You can see that the J has repeated there 3 times, J Jada. So it is a Nirandara, that Pada is Nirandara. It is repetition. So you can connect that. By when you get 3 of them correct, you can automatically come to your answer in a short time. If you go through this one more time, I am sure that next time you don't have to study this. You won't have to spend revising this. Okay, so the next slide. Okay, these are the questions which I am expecting for next year. Ayurveda Deepika is written by Chakrapani. It is very important. If you can learn them without the code, it is fine. Otherwise, Deepa means lamp and Pani means hand. So what we are holding the lamp in our hand. So Ayurveda Deepika was written by Chakrapani. Emphasize the Deepa and the Pani. Then Ayurveda Rasayana was written by Hemadri. It is a commentary on Ashtanga Hridaya. How can we know that? You know that Hema is another name of Swarna. So you can, have you heard about the drug Hema Rasayana? I think you can make a connection like that. Hema Rasayana. Then Deepika. So we learned that Ayurveda Deepika was written by Chakrapani. Then the question came, Deepika, what will we do? Please do not write Chakrapani. Here the difference is that Deepika is a commentary on Sharangadhara Samhita. So please note that word Ayurveda. It was written by Adamala. So we all love Deepika Padukone, I guess. She is in all the advertisement now. She's in all the ads. She's in Levi's ad, everything. So you can take it as Deepika in ad. Adamala, you can take the first 2 letters, AD. Deepika in the ad. Then, okay, so we learned Deepika. Now the next question is Taraga Pradeepa. So it's all confusing, lots of Deepa. What do? You look at the option again. You see Jodi. Jodi is also another similar meaning like Deepa. It's all light, lamp. Where did we place the Deepa? We placed the Jyoti or the Deepam in front of Lord Saraswati. So you can connect like that. Then the next one, Brihat Tandra Pradeepa. So who is the one making all the big tantrams out there, all the big tattvas, all the principles out there? It is us men, right? We are the one hatching all the plans out there. So the Brihat Tantrams are done by Nara. Nara is another name for man. Is another word for man. Yes. And the next one is Susruda Sandhivanam. It is of less importance than the other ones, but once you get through the other options, what remains, you can connect like that. Or if you can make a code for yourself, please do that. So we'll move on to the next slide. See this, nowadays lots of questions are coming from Dravya Guna, which is not in the mainstream. So the best thing is to study Dravya is to make it continuous practice. Like you study at least 5 drugs daily and you go through the main drugs. That is the non-detailed and detailed drugs we have. So the best option is go through the detailed drugs every single day. And here, this one was actually an easy question because if you know the botanical name, you can crack this. You don't necessarily have to learn the chemical constituents. See, Balladaka, if you know the name of Ballaga, that is semicarpus anacardium, you can get semicarp. Like that, Gunja is Abrus precatorius, so you can get Abrin. So this is another example of how you don't need to know the right exactly what they're asking, but if you know the connection, if you know how to link it, you can get to your correct answer. So please, for Dravya Guna, it is such a vast subject and the questions are not repetitive. Every year new drugs are being asked. 2021 a picture was asked, so make a point to learn at least 5 drugs daily. Okay, next. The 4th question and the 5th question are from the changes after death. It was asked in 2021 and 22. So you can see that this is about lividity, post-mortem lividity. Can I get to the next slide? Yeah. See, and in this question, this was asked last year, 2021. Here, all the changes after death are there. Alga mortis, postmortem staining, putrefaction, rigor mortis. So if we had analyzed the 2021 question paper and we learned all the points, it would have been easy, because see, the next year they're asking the same thing. They're taking the postmortem staining and framing a whole question out of it. So when you're going through the 2022 question paper, you have to make a point of all the options. They might ask that the next time. See, so first we'll go through this question. Alga mortis is cooling of body after death. Is it right or wrong? So I'll tell you a small code. Alga mortis, we'll take it as AL, all. We'll take it as all. Be cool always, or just be cool all the time. From that, you can say, get that all is connected with cooling. And what do we mean by all the time? Because it takes 24 hours to develop. So from that one line, you can get 3. Please always be cool. Be cool all the time. Whichever can strike your mind, you can take it. So it is alga mortis, cooling of the body at 24 hours. See the second option. Postmortem staining becomes permanent by 3 hours after death. Okay, if you don't know that is right or wrong, we'll go to the next one. You see the next one. Putrefaction is a late postmortem change. I'm sure everybody knows that, right? Like when you leave a dead body for a longer period of time, it goes into putrefaction. So we know that 2 of the options are right. Then the third one, rigor mortis first occurs in eyelids externally. So for that, we may have a doubt, and we have a small code for that. Rigor mortis first occurs in involuntary muscles. And after that, we have this code for Neston's rule. That is, hen, love, facing the nest. Hen, H-E-N, hen, love, facing the nest. From the H, we have to take heart. So the first muscle to be affected by rigor mortis is heart. But the question here is externally. So we can put that aside. Now E, hen. The E stands for eyelids. From there, sir, we got our answer. So we don't have to decode the rest in the exam hall, but we'll go through it now. And the N stands for neck. The hen, loves. For loves, you have to take it as lower jaw. You have to pronounce it in a certain way. Loves, lower jaw. After neck, it is lower jaw. And facing the nest. So face is face itself, and nest is to get that this is about Neston's rule. You should not forget how to connect it. So from hen, love, facing the nest, we understood that eyelids are the first muscles externally to be affected. So now we know that 3 options are right. So we don't have to look any further. We can go for B. You don't have to, even if you don't remember it is 3 hours or 6 hours, you can put that as the answer. Now the fourth question. Okay. Fourth question. So this question was asked in my exam. And when I went through the question, okay, I'll repeat the code. Hen, H-E, hen. The bird, hen. Hen loves. You can, to remember lower jaw, if you want, you can put the love as L-O-W instead of the correct spelling. Hen, love, facing. It loves to face the nest. Okay, maybe it's looking at its eggs. It loves facing the nest. Like that you can get. I hope it's clear. So the fourth question. This was asked for me. And when you go through, if you read the question, you can understand that 2 have to be right. That was the question. Two are true and 2 are wrong. See, the lividity is developed due to gravitational force of stars' blood. Okay. Actually, you see the next question, the lividity does not depend on position. See, that's totally contradictory. So those can't be right. It's like one is saying it depends on gravitational force, and the other is saying there's no dependence on position. So from that, we can understand only one of those is right. Then the D, see the lividity on the body starts over the dependent part in 1 to 3 hours. Again, the dependent part is there. So you can understand that B and D have something in connection. Gravitational force means if you are like if you're turning, if you're in a prone position, the dependent part will be your backside, right? So there the blood will pool. That is the whole theory behind lividity. So when you go through the options, you can understand that B and D were true. And the options were given in such a way you can crack it. So you don't have to worry about that. We'll go to the 6th question. If you look at the options, and all the time you can eliminate at least 2 options. Even if you don't know the answer, it will be mutually contradictory and you can just eliminate 2 options like that. So the 6th question.
Just a second, Dr. Namita. Just a second.
Okay.
There's some problem with the slideshow, I guess. Just a second. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah. Yeah, you can carry on. I'll just start sharing again.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 6th question, this was not asked previously. In last year, they skipped the toxicology part, but it is a very important topic. It has been asked before 2021. So you have to learn it for the next year exam. And in the toxicology part, corrosive poisons are very important, and sulfuric acid is one of the most important drugs. You know that sulfuric acid is very potent. So here we have 4 options and we have to find which is false. We know that sulfuric acid is very potent. So if you try to, take it out, if you give an emesis, it is coming back all the way and again corroding your tissues. So will we do that? No. So we can cancel that. And the second question, we may have a doubt. Okay, blotting paper, is it true? So we'll just leave that for a while. Now, yellow discoloration due to production of picric acid. So another corrosive poison that which we will learn is nitric acid. And in that, we will learn that nitric acid will, it is yellow, all the discoloration produced by nitric acid is yellow in color. When you learn nitric acid, you'll understand that yellow is like exclusively for nitric acid. Sulfuric acid is a more corrosive one. So imagine something dark, like a flame. You imagine of a, like a high flame. So it is like a reddish brown color. So yellow seems, it's a lighter color. It is a less stronger corrosive poison. And thus we can understand that picric acid is the odd one out here. Then the teeth are chalky white, that is always asked. So just make sure that you learn it. Chalky white teeth is only there in sulfuric acid. It is asked for many other different exams as well. Next slide. According to GMP specifications, the area recommended for manufacturing churna. See, this question was asked last year. Here, in 2021, the question asked from this section was about the instrument, Pfizer instrument. What is it used for? Yellow, okay. That is, you have to do a comparative study for the yellow discoloration. When you learn all the corrosive poison, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, HCl, when you are learning that portion, you do a comparative study. You write it in a box. Then you'll understand that the yellow color, the code that we learned was yellow paper. We learned it as yellow paper. Yellow newspaper is something we colloquially call for newspapers that offer false information, like tabloid. So if you know that term, you can learn it like that. Yellow paper. When do you read the yellow paper? At night. You don't read it in the morning. In the morning, we only read good news and stuff. In the night, we go to the tabloids, yellow paper. So from the night, you can get nitric acid and yellow color. Like when you learn that nitric acid, you will see that all the discoloration, wherever it produces the discoloration, it will be yellow. But sulfuric acid is a much stronger corrosive poison. Like I said, it's just corroding everywhere that it touches. Even if you cannot take it back, because then again it is destroying the tissue. So imagine it like a flame, like a red, brown, dark red burning flame. So yellow does not belong with sulfuric acid. That is how you eliminate it. Then the next question, churna. See, other than the normal Bhaishijya part, where we learn about the preparation ratios, doses, that is all important. But apart from that, for the last few years, they're asking questions from these portions related to modern manufacturing of drugs. So shelf life comes under that. That was asked in the previous year's question paper, but it was not asked in 2022. See here, churna, according to GMP specification, the area recommended for manufacturing churna. Like if you are making a churna at your dispensary, how much area should you allocate for that? That was the question. So here the answer is 200. This is not a very important area, so some people might not have learned it. So I'll tell you one code. When it comes to churna, actually the number 2 is always associated with churna. If you look at the Savirada Avadhi of churna, that is 2 months. So you can make a little box or you can stick it somewhere in your study table. All the numbers related to churna. Savirada Avadhi is 2 months. According to Drugs and Cosmetic Act, the shelf life of churna is 2 years. And now again, if you have that connection, when you see this question, see again it is churna. So you can get to the answer 200 square feet. So just imagine that you say that if you eat churna, there are like Kavipatti churna, if you eat that, where will you go? You'll go to the toilet, which is like the children call it number 2. So the number 2 is inherently linked with churna. I know it may sound very silly to you right now, but when you're in the exam hall in front of the computer, you will grasp for whatever codes you have. So yeah, remember that the number 2 is linked to churna. The next one. See, this is another area which has lots of scope for being asked in the next year. Many schedules are there and they can ask it as a match the following or just individually. It is regarding drugs and cosmetic rules. So see, Schedule G. If you don't know what it is, I'll tell you, it is about hormonal preparations. See, the medicines which come under hormonal preparation, and those have to be specifically prescribed by a doctor. You cannot buy it because hormones produce lots of effects, very lasting effects on your body. You need to get it as prescribed, as a prescription. So you can learn it like Dr. G. We need the permission from Dr. G to take the hormones. You cannot just take a hormone. The Dr. G, like we say out of respect, Dr. G should prescribe it to you. So G is hormonal preparation. In the slide, I think there's a slight mistake. The correct is G is for hormonal preparation, or you can learn it as growth hormone GH. We call it as GH, right? The growth hormone, like that GH. Now the H, Schedule H. Schedule H is the one, that is the third option, to be sold by retail on the prescription of a registered medical practitioner only. So we can learn it as we need his prescription. We need his prescription. So G, you can either learn it as Dr. G ka prescription for hormones or growth hormone, and H is for his medical, his prescription. We need his prescription. Then why? Why are we doing all this research? Why are we investing so much funds? What is the use of all that? You keep that in mind and you will get why is for the requirement and guidelines for clinical trials. Schedule H, yeah. Schedule H, the answer is the option 3, to be sold by retail on the prescription of a registered medical practitioner. Like I said, the answer given in the slide is wrong. I'm sorry for that. So H is for, you can learn it as his prescription. We need his prescription. You emphasize the H. When you write it in your notebook, you write it big in a different color. You learn it as, you keep on repeating it in your mind as his prescription. So his H, we need prescription. Then why? Why this clinical trial? Why this research? You learn it in that tone. You write it down like that. Why? Why this research? Why are we doing it? So from that, you will get Schedule Y is for requirements and guidelines for clinical trials. Now the T. See, Ayush, we are a team, right? We come together for everything. for the celebrations, for the Ministry of Ayush, everything we are linked. So Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha products, we are a team. Schedule T for Ayush. Now, according to Vagbada, Uttaravasti in males. Here, you can learn that we usually in our practice, we give more of Uttaravasti to females. So when you're giving Uttaravasti to male, give it with Shakti, no, give it with power. You can learn it like that. So how do you give it Uttaravasti to a male? With Shakti. So from that Shakti, we have to get it as Shukti Matra. It is all about connecting. So when you learn it like that. You're giving with power, Shakti to males. So that is how I came to that answer. This was also asked last year. Then the next one. Okay. This was also asked last year. Here it is very easy. Kashyapa is one of the most important areas in the present trend. So it is better to learn all the sthanas. Here Indra, we all know Lord Indra. He is a king. Like Indra is a Raja. So you can learn it as Indrani Taila is for Raja Yakshma. But Raja Taila is for Fakka. That when you learn Fakka Roga, you learn only around 4 or 5 preparations. So you have to be very thorough with that, even if you don't have a code. We will see the other options. Lakshadi Taila. So Laksha Shosha. You rhyme it and study. Laksha Shosha. Laksha Shosha. Lakshadi Taila is for Bala Shosha. Then Bala Taila. Bala Taila is for Navajada Shishu. Why? A Navajada Shishu has no Bala. It is such a tiny, weak thing. So you give it Bala Taila. You give it Bala. Like that, you can make a connection. And when you get the 3 options, even if you don't have a code for Raja Taila, you can match it. So I've prepared 10 questions right now. And now I'll hand over the screen to Dr. Neetu ma'am. She will convey a few questions which was asked in Susrita and Casey in the last years, as well as some questions which we discussed in Drona. So I invite Dr. Neetu C. Mohan to share the rest of the questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Namita, and good evening, all my dear friends. I can see like vibrant, aspiring students of Drona and who are like aspiring to be students of Drona as well, who has come here to explore the magic of Drona, as Dr. Ganesh was telling. But that is a very valid point, what Dr. Ganesh has said. The magic lies in your hands. The magic lies how you handle the questions in that 120 minutes. So Drona just gives you the smarter ways to crack all these questions in just a matter of few seconds. You don't even need 1 minute to answer that. So before starting, as Dr. Namita said, I'll be discussing about Kaya Chikitsa and Susruta Sutra questions. Actually, those areas have a lot of weightage. You must have seen in the slide Dr. Namita was sharing. Almost 15 questions were asked from Kaya Chikitsa part and almost 10 questions were asked from Susruta part. So, and some of the questions from Drona question papers also I'll be putting forward. So before starting, let me just give you a quick introduction. I'm Dr. Neetu C. Mohan. I'm a faculty at Drona Institute and also working as a senior Ayurveda consultant at a firm called Nirva Health. And also I was a student of Drona Institute like 10 years back or so. And so I'm a proud student now here in front of you. And I have cracked the way to my success through Drona Institute. So yeah, let's just begin without wasting any time. So we'll go to discussion of Kaya Chikitsa set of questions first. So as you can see in the screen, according to Charaka, Vilva Shaladu is indicated in the treatment of. See, most of the questions, like when we see these questions, we feel that, oh, this is very simple. Why is this being discussed, or why is this being asked every time? But when you are exactly there in that examination hall, everything will be like feel very similar to you. You won't understand what is Shirogadavada, you won't understand what is Nabhigadavada, which was that, which was this. All this confusion will set in because of that mental stress, and you have too much to study just for that day, right? For that 120 minutes, you are studying like all subjects from your lifetime, actually. So that is why we need codes here, even for simplest of questions. So in this question, it's very clear. It's very simple. Vilva Shaladu is indicated in the treatment of. This was asked in the previous year. And the answer is Nabi Gadavada, which you must be knowing right now, but then you may get confused. So how will you study this? You can study that. You can just draw an umbilicus. Okay, just draw an umbilicus, just draw a stomach, an umbilicus, and draw a tree from that umbilicus. Nabi, from Nabi, Vilva grows. Vilva is a tree, okay? Vilva grows. From Nabi, one tree is growing, and that is Vilva. So you can connect Vilva Shaladu with Nabi. What about other like options? Hridaya Gadavada. What is mentioned in Hridaya Gadavada? What is mentioned in Hridaya Gadavada? What is that drug which is mentioned in Hridaya Gadavada? You can post in the chat box, those who you know. It's Amshumati, right? Amshumati. So how will we learn that quickly? How will we learn that quickly? You always say a piece of my heart, right? With where to someone very loved, you say a piece of my heart. So you can translate it to Hindi and say that Hridaya Amsha. Hridaya Amsha. That means Hridaya Gadavata Amshumati is a drug. Okay. Now, what about Garbha Gadavada? Garbha Gadavada, there are 3 drugs. Siddha, Kashmarya, and Madhuka. And you always want your pregnancy or your fetus to be very well and good, right? That is every woman, every parent's like hope. So how will we learn that? How will we learn that? Kash, mujhe sweet garbh hota. Kash mujhe sweet garbh hota. Kash stands for Kashmiri. Sweet stands for Sita and Madhuka. And this is given in like this is indicated in the treatment of Garbha Gadavada. So Kash mujhe sweet garbh hota. So these codes can save you like a lot of time, a lot of seconds, which actually matters in the competitive exams. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. According to Charaka, Deenata, Shvayadu, Glani, Panduda, Na Annakamata associated with Santapa found in which type of Jwara? See, this is an exact sloka, right? It has been taken from a very big sloka. These kinds of sloka references can be asked in Kai Chikitsa part. So it is very important to learn some of the important areas as sloka itself. That is why I've taken this question. This also was asked in the previous year's question paper. And this is in the reference of, where is it said? Where is it said? Exact sloka, where is it said? Along with Santapa, you have a lot of other complications. So when will this happen? When you are very tired, when you are not feeling very well, and again you get a disease, this happens, right? You will feel Deenata, Shvayadu, Glani, Panduda. So it happens in Punaravartaka Jwara. Punaravartaka Jwara. So here you can use a little bit of yukti also, but you have to be very thorough with some of the slokas in Kaya Chikitsa, very important parts of Kaya Chikitsa. Now, moving on to the next one. According to Vagpada, dash is indicated along with Gomutra in the treatment of Shvitra. According to Vagpada, dash is indicated along with Gomutra in the treatment of Shvitra. Treatment section is actually very, very, very important when it comes to Kaya Chikitsa questions. You will feel confused when you read all these options, like Khadira is indicated, Chitraka is indicated, you'll doubt whether Haritaki is indicated. So all these simple things which are very important need some code. So what is the answer? Can anybody tell me what is the answer here? It's Chitraka. Since we are running out of time, I'll just quickly, you can post your answers. It's always welcome, but I'll just tell you the code. So you can learn Chitra drank Gomutra for Shvitra. Okay, Chitra is a lady who has Shvitra. She drank Gomutra for Shvitra. Okay, so that means Chitraka is to be mixed with Gomutra in the treatment of Shvitra. Now, at least some of you must be thinking that, isn't this overwhelming? Too many codes, too many things. How can we learn this? See, once you get practice, once you get practice and used to these kind of codes, then they will automatically get stored in your brain. Your brain will find it very easy to access all these easy information, and you will get very thorough with the subject. You won't feel overwhelmed at all. A lot of codes will be there, but you can save a lot of time with these codes as well. Now, the next one. According to Charaka, Mahati Neela Pitaka is observed in which Prameha Pitaka? This is a very important area. This question was asked in the previous year's question paper. So Prameha Pitakas and their features are actually very important. What is the answer here? Mahati Neela Pitaka. What is the answer here? Which Prameha Pitaka? Keep posting. Come on. Vinata, good. Yeah, I have some answers coming. It's Vinata. So how will you learn this? Vinata has many features, right? What are the features of Vinata? Where is the site of Vinata? It is Prishta or Udara. and it is Mahati. It has Avaghada Rujakleda. It is Neela in color. So these are the features of just Vinata. You have to learn 4 features for just Vinata type of Pramehavega, and here others as well. So it becomes very confusing. So we'll learn one code. You can imagine that Vinata is the name of a girl. Okay. And she fell down. One day she fell down. When she fell down, where did she get hurt? She got hurt on her stomach and her back. Okay. The sites where she got hurt is her stomach and her back. That means Vinata happens in Prishta and Udara. Okay. Now, she was a very famous lady. Okay. You can assume that she was a very famous lady. So there is a saying that even if you are great, if you step on clay, you will fall down. Even if you are great, if you step on clay, you will fall down. That means even if you are great, great stands for Mahati, clay stands for Avaghada Rujakleta, and you will fall down, means stands for Vinata. Vinata has fallen down. And also, when you fall down, what is the first kind of discoloration that you get? It is bluish in color, right? It's always bluish in color. When you hit somewhere or something like that happens, you get a blue discoloration. So that means Neela Pitaka. So we have all the information very handy as a story. Vinata, Mahati, Neela Pitaka happens in Prishta and Udara, and clay stands for Avaghada Rujakleda. Here the answer is Vinata. Very easy, right? It will become easy once you get used to this quotes and study just the quotes. It will be like very easy. Now, next one. According to Charaka, Harsha Pipilikanam Sanjara Iva is the Lakshana of, what is this? What is the answer for this? According to Charaka, Harsha Pipilikanam Sanjara Iva is the Lakshana of, is it Rektavritavada, or is it Prameha, or is it Mamsavritavada? It is Mamsavritavada. It is the Lakshana of Mamsa Avrita Vada. Very good, Gayatri. I have some answers coming in. Very good. Kudos to all of you who are posting. Keep posting, okay? So it's Mamsa Avrita Vada. So you can learn it like this. Imagine you are a surgeon, okay? Or imagine somebody is a surgeon. He just cuts the skin and peeps inside. What does he see immediately? He sees muscle or Mamsa, right? So the surgeon gets very happy when he cuts and peeps and sees the muscle. So that means when he cuts, he feels happy. Harsha, peep stands for Pipilikanam, and it is said in Mamsa. So surgeon feels very happy when he peeps inside and sees the muscle. So that is the code for Harsha Pipilikanam Sanjara Iva. And that is seen in Mamsa Avrita Vada. See, the Drona way of cracking success is very simple, right? Okay, next are some questions which are from Drona question papers and which are very important. We usually give them a 3-star. We give a star rating to some topics in Drona, and some of the 3-star questions and 2-star questions I'll be discussing. So, Vada Vyadi Haram Sreshtam Taila Agryam. This is the Lakshana, I mean the indication of which formulation actually. This is the question. Vata Vyadi Haram Sreshtam Taila Agryam. This is said in which formulation? Okay, so how will you know that? This is very difficult area, right? To study the effect of every Taila, every Grita, every formulation that is mentioned in the classics is very difficult. So there will be one key line which is very important. For example, in this sloka, Vata Vyadi Haram Sreshtam Taila Agryam is very important than the all other indications. So here the answer is Amritadi Taila. Okay, Amritadi Taila. So we'll put a code for it. Amrita is a famous person with Vata Vyadi. Amrita is a famous person with Vata Vyadi. That means Amrita is Sreshta and Agrya, and it is indicated in Vata Vyadi. So Vata Vyadi Haram Sreshtam Taila Agryam. Okay, just simple some connections you can put and just you can remember. Now, what about Mulagadi Tailam? Mulagadi Tailam. The indication of Mulagadi Tailam is Tat Siddham Pidam Atyugran Hanti Vadatmagan Gadai. Okay. Tat Siddham Pidam Atyugran Hanti Vadatmagan Gadai. This is another important line in that particular sloka. So you can learn it. Mula is Ugra with Vata. Mula is Ugra with Vada. You have some serious bloating or gas issues, and Mula is Ugra with Vada. That means Atyugran Handi Vadatmagan Gada starts with Mulagadi Taila. Okay. Now, Shwadam Shtradi Taila. What is that indication? Dadyat Sarva Anilarteshu. I mean, it will cure all the Vata related disorders. That is the indication of that. So, Damshtra destroys everything. Damshtra destroys every Vata or everything, whatever you want to learn. You can learn. Sarva Anila. You should get that keyword. Okay, so this is how you can crack questions related to indications of some yogas. Now, next one, Nabhi Upari Go Puchavat Abhinivartate is told about which Udara? Which Udara? Which Udara is that? Any answers? Come on, come on, come on. Fast, fast, fast. You won't get such time. So much of time. Yes, Vadodara, good. Anupriya, very good. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody posting. Yes. How will you learn that? How will you learn that? It's Vadodara. What is the Nidana of Vadodara? You intake some external things like hair, something like that, and then something gets obstructed, and then you get Vadodara. This is the easiest Nidana, or easiest explanation, right? So imagine that one kid is eating cow's tail or the hairs from cow's tail, and then it gets obstructed in the intestine, and he got Vadodara. Okay, so Go Puchavat. One kid was eating, somehow accidentally, one kid ate the tail, the hair of the tail of Go Pucha, I mean, the tail of cow, and then he got obstruction in his intestine that caused Vadodara. So Go Puchavat Vadodara. That's how you relate to it. Imagine if it was Plihodara. How will you learn that? What is the key word for Plihodara? Plihodara. Answer already given below of questions. Yes, that's right. But still, yeah, that is for you to make it easy. Like you can easily understand what is the answer, right? When we are just scrolling through the slides, that's why it's given. Okay, and this is not a competition. You can just keep posting, make it fun. Okay, yeah. So Plihodara, what is that? This is not given in the slide anyway. Kachapa, very good, very good. So Kachapa, how will you learn that? How will you learn that? Okay, pliha is spleen, right? Both has a pli in it, pli. So imagine that you are stamping on a tortoise. Okay, you are stamping on a tortoise and that goes pli. Okay, when you stamp on it, it goes pli. So Kachapa Samstana is said in Plihodara. All these are like funny kind of quick answering methods. Okay, now the next one. Used as Anupana of Mamsa in Rajeshma Chikitsa for Sroto Vishodhana and Dhatu Poshana. This is very easy. But still, at that point of time, when you are in the exam hall, some of you might get confused. Is it Takra? Is it Sarpi? Is it Madhya, etc.? So here the answer is Madhya. You can imagine a TB patient. Okay, you can imagine a TB patient who has come to you in the OPD and he is drinking alcohol and eating chicken along with that. TB patient drinking alcohol and eating chicken. So Anupana of Mamsa is alcohol or Madhya. Okay, TB is related to Rajeshma. Now, the next one. Marmasu Chidhyamaneshu Paridhevi is the feature of which particular Shwasa? The features of some Shwasa are very important because there are some typical words in it, like this. Marmasu Chidhyamaneshu Paridhevi. All these are typical wordings, right? So, which is the answer? Which is the answer of this? It is Urdhva Shwasa. Urdhva Shwasa. How will you relate to that? Urdhva Shwasa. See, there is a word Devi in it, right? Devi is God. Okay, so we always pray to God looking upwards, right? So Paridhevi, Marmasu Chidhyamaneshu Paridhevi, we are praying to God looking upwards. That gives you the word Urdhva, and this is said in Urdhva Shwasa. Clear? Now, what about next one? Sadhyo Gulmam, Sadhyo Vada Gulmam Vyapohati. Which formulation? Which formulation it is said that Sadhyo Vada Gulmam Vyapohati? It is Pipalyati Grida. Pipalyati Grida. Do you know any other context where the same name is used, like Pipalyati Grida is indicated? Do you know any other context which is very important? Where is Pipalyati Grida? Another one formulation of Pipalyati Grida indicated in Kaya Chikitsa. Jwara. Very good. Jwara. Yes. Yes, Adra. Jwara. That's right. So you can just imagine like this. Okay. You are taking Grita. You are taking a whole amount of Grita. And basically, when you take Grita and it is undigested, you get two symptoms. What are the symptoms you usually get? Either it is gas and bloating, or you get fever because of indigestion. Okay. So these, either it is gas. When you took Grita in a heavy dose, you got gas and also fever. Okay. And you took a drug to clear that. That is Pipal. Okay. So Pipalyadi Grita is indicated in Vata Gulma. Gas stands for Vata Gulma and fever, that is for Jwara, and that is Pipalyadi Grita. Okay, Sadhyo Vada Gulmam Vyapohati. Which formulation? You took a whole amount of Grita, you ate it, you got two symptoms, one is gas and one is fever. Okay. What is the drug that you take to cure that? You took Pipali to cure that. So Pipalyadigrita is indicated in Vata Gulma and Jwara. Okay, so these are some questions from Kayatsikal sir. Now I'll hand over the session back to Dr. Namita and she'll be discussing some other set of questions. Yeah, doctor, you can go on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neetu. It was very interesting to listen to. It was a very interesting class. So now we'll go on to the next question, that is 21st. Like where I stopped, Kashyapa is a very important area. So we'll look at this question, especially Kashyapa Kalpa in the previous years. From Kalpasthana, Dhuma Kalpa has been asked. Then you can expect questions from Shadavari Kalpa, Shadapushpa Kalpa, Lashuna Kalpa. These are all important areas. Here we are looking at Shad Kalpa chapter. That is about, it is about Ashchodhana, some medicines for Ashchodhana, which is used in children for about 5 to 6 days. Here you can look at the options. Shiva, like the Lord Shiva, for every dosha, whatever happened to us, we pray to the Lord Shiva to take it away from us. We pray to the Lord for all dosha shamana, whatever bad things happen to us. So Shiva, the answer is Tridosha Shamana. The next one is Rochana. The Rochana will be, you can read it as Grochana, like growing. You write the word grow and emphasize the aro, grow. So Rochana is for Pakshma Vardhani. Vardhani means growing, right? Increasing. So Grochana. Then Rasanjana. Here you can see that Rasanjana and Pakshma Janana. Janana and Jana. You rhyme that and learn. Rasanjana is for Janana. Otherwise, you'll get confused because there is Pakshma Janana, Pakshma Vardhani. So it is better to avoid the term Pakshma and concentrate on the second word. Now, Pushpa. Pushpa is for Drishti Prasadana Cha Ashu. How can you learn that? You go to a temple with prasadam, with prasad. What do you get? You get flowers, you get the sandal, you get all these, especially flowers, right? So Pushpa Prasadanam. You connect those two words. Now we will move on to the next question. This question was asked in 2022. But here, Down syndrome. Down syndrome, down means what? You're coming down. That is like you're descending, you're coming down. When you look at the options, you see 2, 1. They are also in an order. It is coming down, right? So Down syndrome is trisomy of 21. Even without the code, I'm sure most of us would know Down syndrome, but just for the sake of it, we learned that. Then Turner syndrome. In the option, webbing of neck was given. So you see, when somebody calls you, how do you turn? You turn your neck. If somebody's calling you, you turn your neck. So Turner syndrome is webbing of neck. Then you got 2 of them correct. Beta thalassemia, even if you don't know, we will go to the next one, that is Patau syndrome. See, usually we associate the number 13 with evil things, horror movies, all the bad things, like patas things, potta things, you can say, or you can say bad pet. From Patau, you can say, you can take pet. So we have a bad pet at home. You won't listen to us, like bad pet. And what is bad? The number 13 is associated with everything that is bad. So you can associate Patau syndrome with 13. And from that, you can get beta thalassemia, which is autosomal recessive. So I was able to answer this question, I think, less than half a minute because of these codes last year. Now we'll go on to the next question. See, this is a question I prepared, which is similar to the question asked last year. Here you have flag sign, Harrison's group, sunset sign, and Hutchinson's teeth. And on the right side, you have some diseases which are seen in children. So flag sign, where is flag sign seen? I'll tell you a small quote for that. Kashi proposed using flag sign in the club. He was in the club, and you know there will be lots of music, so he had to use sign language. He used the flag sign to propose in the club. Kashi proposed using flag sign in the club. From Kashi, you have to take Kwashiorkor. And that is the answer right here. From the first word of the code, we got our answer. Then what is using flag sign? We got flag in the club. In the club stands for clubbing of fingers, which is usually seen in Kwashiorkor. Then we'll go on to the next one, Harrison's groove. Harrison's groove is seen in rickets. So first, there are lots of important points in rickets. So when you learn rickets, you write it downwards like this, R-I-C-K-E, and you put an extra H on it. After the T, you put a H. You write rickets downwards, and in front of R, you have to write rachitic rosary. These are all skeletal malformations which are seen on the baby affected with rickets. So in front of R, you write rachitic rosary. For I, you write pigeon chest, but write the P in small letter and emphasize the I. So rickets, rachitic rosary, pigeon chest, and C is for craniotabes. K is for knock knee, and H, as we learned, is for Harrison's groove. E is for epiphyseal end changes. T is for teeth delayed eruption. In people, rickets means you have less calcium, phosphorus, so teeth will be erupting very delayed. Then S is for skeletal deformity. So for rickets, write rickets, and all the bony changes that you see, you write down. When you learn it, even if you don't get it now, when you learn the portion, everything is given in the Drona notebook, in the notes, and the sir will explain it very clearly to you. So if you didn't catch it now, don't worry. And the next one is Hutchinson's teeth. Hutchinson. When I hear the word Hutchinson, the first thing that strikes my mind is an old advertisement of Hutch mobile phone connection. You see a lovely pug running around a child, following it to the class, goes everywhere the child goes, right? So we all called that dog as the dog in Hutch's ad. We didn't know that it was a pug at that time. So Hutch the dog, we used to call it like the Hutch dog. So you can, and that had a very different kind of face, right? Like it was not from India, as you know. It is a foreigner. That dog was brought to India. So what is the other name for syphilis? Firangam. So Hutch, and you can connect that with syphilis, Firangam. It is something foreign. It was not seen commonly here. And the next, we'll move on to the next slide. Like I said, if you don't get it now, don't worry. The sirs will explain very clearly to you when they're taking the live session. The next question, this was also asked last year. How many doses of BCG vaccine is given to a child as per national immunization schedule? See, this is a whole big thing. You'll have to learn the immunization schedule at birth, 1.5 months, 2.5 months. It is a whole big thing, but you have a beautiful story. Drona teachers have written a beautiful story to understand that. The first line is at birth. When a child is born, at birth, old people busy hai. Do you know that in the house, if your sibling had a child, the grandparents will be excited. They'll be running around. So at birth, old people busy hai. And at birth is for the time. And old people, from that O and P, you take it as OPV vaccine. Then it is BC hai, BC for BCG and hai for hepatitis. So when you listen to the whole story, when you go through that in the mind, you'll understand that this BC, it only comes only once in our story. So without thinking, you can write one dose. It's a single dose, because if there were more than one dose, our sirs would have made it into a code and gave it in our story. It is not there, so we can just put single dose without thinking. So you'll learn the rest of the code in your live class of pediatrics. Doctor, can we move on to the next question? Thank you. There was, okay, the previous question. So this question was asked for 2022. National Commission for Indian System of Medicine, NCISM, was constituted in which year? It was a very recent event. We all know that CCM was cancelled, NCISM was implemented. It was done when most of you were studying BMS, or like now when we are writing the exam. So we had to re-register. We had to, from CCM, because of the ministry, everything is changing. We also had to re-register. So that is fresh in our mind. Very easy the question that was. Now next one. Next question, what can be asked from this? who's the first chairman of NCISM? Because it was a recent institution, we can ask who's the first chairman. Any guesses? Does anybody know who's the first chairman? Any guesses? Last year, another question regarding the first chairperson, something like that was asked. So there is high potential of this being asked next year. Any guesses? And okay, after this class, yes, very correct, Chakram. It is Dio Pujari. And that's a very good answer, because how can we connect that? When you create something new, you are building a house, you're buying a vehicle. It's the first thing. What do? You do a puja. It is a vehicle puja or griha puja, whatever you do a puja. So the first chairman for NCISM, when it was created, you bought a pujari, you did the puja. No offense to that great Vaidya, but still you can learn it like that. That's Vaidya Jayant Dio Pujari. Okay, so the next question. Last year, Ayush 64 was asked. Who developed Ayush 64? It was CCRS. So what we can expect next year is Bal Raksha kit that was also used for COVID treatment in children. So Bal Raksha kit was developed by, we'll all think it is CCRS, but please note that it was developed by it was put together by All India Institute of Ayurveda. And I want all of you to learn the ingredients of Bal Raksha kit and the ingredients of Ayush 64, the constituent. So please note that down. Okay. And we'll go on to the next question. So this is also Ayush GK. Like I said, don't ignore Itihasa, research, and Ayush GK. They're gaining much importance. You'll get around 12 marks. From Ayush GK itself, you'll get 12 marks, and it will make a huge difference in your rank. So this also we can expect next year. While addressing the Global Ayush Investment and Innovation Summit, PM Modi announced that India will soon be launching something. What purpose does it do? It gives authenticity to quality Ayush products made in India. Usually, how do you know the quality of something in the market? You've heard of ISI mark, right? You've heard of the 916 mark, ISI mark, like that. For Ayush, we have something called Ayush mark. It is such a simple name, Ayush mark. But with the other options, it can get confused. So please note it down. We have Ayush mark to give authenticity to quality Ayush products made in India to prevent the scams. Then we'll go on to the next question. According to Charaga, Eladi Gudiga is used in. This question was asked in the Uttar Pradesh MO exam. So if you had written that, you will know. Then this question, we get this question at least 5 times. I think 5 times in our Drona course. The teachers ask it us every time we have a revision. It's a very important question. It's very simple. So you have to learn this right now itself. Eladi Gudika is used in it is not used in Rajakshma, Kasa, Pradishaya, because these are all so similar, you can get confused. If you think practically, you will get confused. See, Rajakshma has symptoms of Kasa, Pradishaya, so high possibility of confusion. The correct answer is Shadakshina. You have to learn it as election. We all know elections, right? So you take the Ila of Iladi Gudiga and the Shadakshina, the first part, Ksha, election. You learn it as election. No more confusion in that. So we'll move on to the next question. Yes, vitamins are a very important area. It was skipped in 2022. That means it can be asked next year. It was asked almost every year till 21. So do not skip the vitamins and minerals area for next year's exam. Here it is all vitamin B, variants of vitamin B. If you know vitamin B2, here on the options, you can see angular stomatitis. How do you draw an angle? You draw 2 lines. Like if somebody asked you to draw an angle, you draw it like this, 2 lines. So 2. Angular stomatitis is for vitamin B2. You can connect it like that. Then we have B5. B5, the name of vitamin B5 is pantothenic acid. So when you learn, you keep it in your mind like pantothenic acid, 5-fanto. You keep that connection. And you get that B5 is pantothenic. You made that connection. Now, how do you put your pant? Through your leg? You put your legs inside first, right? So vitamin B5 deficiency will give you burning feet syndrome. Next, you have vitamin B12. Till 12th standard, we had a blast of a time. We enjoyed, we studied very less, we went out, we did everything that we could do in those times, right? So we had a mega blast till 12th standard. From that, you can get vitamin B12 deficiency causes megaloblastic anemia. And once you get the others, you can match vitamin B1 with Wernicke's encephalopathy. So next one, please. See, this question, it was also asked last year. This is also a part of a very big code. I'll just tell you the first few lines and how to come to this answer. So this is about the month-wise abortion preventing drugs which is given to a Garbini. So from this obstetrics area, you have to learn month-wise development of fetus, Garbini Parijara, and month-wise abortion prevention. These 3 points, all the different acharyas, you will have to learn thoroughly, comparative study again. So the first question, there is a man named Madhu, and he was sitting on the shaga, that is a branch. So Madhu was sitting on the shaga. That is the first line of a story. So you look at the right side, you see Pradama Mas 1. So you match Madhu and Pradama. Then what did he do? He was sitting on that branch of the tree and he was throwing stones, black colored stones. He was throwing it around the people walking down. That is Krishna Ashmantaka. We know that Ashma means stone and Krishna means black. So this Madhu was throwing black stones on the people going down under the tree. So the tree comes to the third line, that is Vrikshadani. Vriksha means tree. From that you can get the Tridiya Masa. Either you can learn Vriksha, tree, Tridiya, or when you go through the process of the whole story you will get it as third. So we'll go on to the next question. For this also you will get the complete code in your live class. This is a question which can be asked next year. According to Harida, Garbha becomes Sujivada. So when somebody is having a Sukha Jivida, what do we say? They are having a hi-fi life. They are having a posh hi-fi life. So according to Harida is having a hi-fi life. That is 5th month. Sujivada is at 5th month. I'm sure you won't miss that again. Okay, so the next question. Which of the following yoni rogas occur in Garbhini due to Vegaroda? Okay, please mark that you will surely get a question from yoni roga. It has been asked at least one question every year. You'll surely get this question. Here, so we have 2 factors into consideration. We have to analyze Garbhini and Vegaroda, 2 points, 2 keywords. Here, when you look at the options, Upapluda. If you know the shloka of Upapluda, very good. Garbhinya, Shleshma Abhyasa, Chabdi Shwasa Nigrahat. That is the shloka of Upapluda. So Chabdi and Shwasa, these are Vega, which are part of the upper area of our body. Chabdi and Shwasa. So the upper tracts Vegaroda. From that Upapluda, you take the first words, you highlight UP, up. So upper part Vegaroda is Upapluda. From that you can get this answer. Otherwise, if you know the shloka, then go for it, no problem. Here, when another confusion is that they can ask you which occurs in just, if it is just Garbhini, please watch out that Karnini can also be the answer. So next slide. According to Sustrida, Rohini Phala is used for what purpose in Vrana Chikitsa? Okay, the Shashti Upakrama is a very important area. We are expecting it in the next year because it was skipped in 2022, but you should definitely learn the most important points. I'll give you one example. Rohini Phala is used for what purpose in Prana Chikitsa? Most of you might be knowing Ahana Pandey, right? Chunky Pandey, Ahana Pandey. They're all the glitz of Bollywood right now. So yeah, like that, you imagine one of our family friends, Rohini Pandey. the name of that person is Rohini Pandey. Why? Because Rohini Phala is used in Pandukarma. Just for learning that code, you imagine there is a star called Rohini Pandey. Okay, so we'll go on to the next question. Okay, another very important area you should remember is Shudra Roga. We are consistently getting questions from this area. So in Shudra Roga, Panasika was asked before. Vrishna Kachu was dosha predominance of Vrishna Kachu was asked last year. So you should definitely learn that. And don't worry, we have a very good note and full codes for that. Then this year you can expect either Pashana Gardaba or Ahiputana. That is also equally important because Vrishna Kachu was asked, they may ask Ahiputana next time. So here you see, according to Susruta, Sirashobha, which occurs in Hanu Sandhi with Alparukis. So we all know the story of Hanuman, right? How he took the mountain on his hand and he flew, right? The Maritwamala. So from that, you take Hanu, from Hanuman, you take the Hanu and connect it with Hanu Sandhi. What did he take? Pashana Gardaba. This mountain had lots of stones and boulders and all. Pashana means stone, right? So Hanuman flew with this Pashanam, all that, and he didn't feel any pain because he's super strong. He's like Vayuputra, he just flew. He felt no pain. Alparuk, Pashana Garbada, and Hanusandhi. These are the keywords. So I think we've come to an end of my session. What I want to tell you guys is that please look for the keywords in everything that you study. You do not have to learn the whole thing. You mark the keywords. Try to find the answer from that. Eliminate the options. You just eliminate options, you come to your answer and everything will be all right if you just follow the timetable that is being prepared at Drona. And don't worry, this is not about just codes. Everything, any doubts that you have in depth detail, we have very good faculties who will explain the right principles of Ayurveda to you. And just to get you across the, to get you to that rank, we help you with codes. That's it. So please, once more, I'm thanking Drona Institute for giving me this opportunity. I was very lucky to study in this institution and that I got a very good rank on my first attempt, which is entirely because of Drona Institute. So next year, I'm hoping to see one of the students in this chat list right now explaining the questions as a topper. A very, very all the best to all of you here. Now I'm handing over the screen to Dr. Neetu. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Namita. That was amazing. And it's just truly inspiring, I guess. Isn't it, my dear students? Like you must have all got that vibe, right? You should be sitting next year on the screen, talking to all other students of Drona, explaining your success journey. That would be wonderful and you would really enjoy it. So that's why we are on a session here. Today and also every time we are on a session to train you and to guide you, to mold you towards success. So yeah, let's just quickly discuss some more questions from the most important part, Susruta Samhita Sutrasthana. This is very, very, very important. Please do make it sure to read each and every point. Okay, whether it is simple, whether it is hard, you have to go to each and every nook and corner of the Samhitas, and especially Sutrasthana and Chandrasthana. And then I mean, you have a pretty good weightage for these questions and you are on the safe zone if you don't miss any of these questions. So let's just discuss some questions from Susruta Samhita Sutrasthana quickly. Okay, you can come along with me. You can post your answers in the chat box and yeah, let's make it interesting. So according to Susruta, before Rakta Moksha, which type of ahara is given? Which type of ahara is given? It is Yavagu. Okay. All these simple, this might sound simple. We might miss this point. Why I specifically took this question from last year is this, we'll miss this. Then sitting in the exam hall, we'll wonder, oh my God, was it Lagu Snigdha ahara? Was it Yavagu? What was that? And 1.5 minutes gone or 2 minutes gone in that question itself. We'll miss all the other questions. So some of these very simple answers, no, which we might miss it out or which we might think, oh, this is not going to come, this is not very important, will come in the question paper. So go through every nook and corner of the Samhitas. Here the answer is Yavagu. It specifically said that you have to have Yavagu before the sitting for Rakta Moksha. Okay, So that was important. That's why the question is here in today's discussion. According to Sushruta, Gairi Gotaka Pratikasham is the feature of Rekta vitiated by which dosha? Which of the following dosha? You can see the feature Gairi Gotaka Pratikasham. Is it Vada, Pitta, Kapha, or Tridosha? Which one is it? Yeah, Dr. Manaswita, it's Yavagu. Thank you for posting. Yeah, which one is it? Dosha, Gairi Gotaka Pratikasha. Fast. Fingers on your laptops. Yes, Kapha. Yes. Third. Yes. Correct. So it's Kapha. What is the other feature of Kapha Doshta Shonita? Can you tell me one important feature of Kapha Doshta Shonita? Another feature which is very important. Now I should assume that you all are seeing the screen and posting the answers. Very tricky. Okay, let me just go. Okay, I'll just tell you a code. Okay. You buy chicken or meat from the market and you come and wash it properly, and then the meat, chicken obviously becomes like slightly white in color. Okay. Then what we put chili powder or we put turmeric and everything into it. Then we make it kind of red color. When we marinate it, it becomes red color. Okay. So here, what we are going to do is we are going to put gairiga into that white mamsa peshi, and it will become red. Okay, what are we going to put? We are going to put gairika into what? White mamsa peshi, and then it will become red. So gairika stands for Gairi Gotaka Pratikasham. White stands for Kapha. Kapha is assumed to be white, right? White stands for Kapha. Mamsa peshi stands for Mamsa peshi prabham, which is another feature of Kapha Dushta Shonita, and it will become red, stands for Shonita. Okay, so you got two things from the same code, Gairi Gotaka Pratikasha and Mamsa peshi prabham. This is how you answer the question very fast. Next one. According to Sushruta Samhita, which Shastra is used for Lekhana Karma? Very important part. Shastra, Yantra, Agni, Kshara, all these are very important part which you should never ever miss. Okay. So which is used for Lekhana Karma? Lekhana Karma, there are Shastra set, there are the Karma set, and there are codes for everything. I'll tell you the code for Lekhana Karma. You can write MK's wife is LC. LC is the name of the lady. And you can write MK's wife is LC. MK is a man, some short form of a man's name. Okay. MK's wife is LC. So if you expand that code, you can write it as Mandalagra. M stands for Mandalagra. K stands for Kharapatra. And LC stands for Leghana and Chedana. So Mandalagra and Karapatra is used for Leghana and Chedana. Similarly, there is codes for like all other Shastras and their karmas as well. This is a short code for Lekhana Karma. MK's wife is LC. M stands for Mandalagra, K stands for Karapatra, L stands for Lekhana, and C stands for Chetana. And here the answer is D. Okay. So basically for every other Shastra Yantra, there are codes. Now, according to Sushruta, Sivana Karma is indicated in which of the following Brana? This you can use your yukti. Okay, there is no code for it as such, but you can use your yukti. Let's go through the options. Kshara Agni Jushta. See, will you stitch a wound which is like burned completely, which is a severe burnt wound? Will you stitch it? No, right? Will you stitch Antarlohita Shalaja? Something, you can see that something is stuck inside the wound. Will you stitch it? It will cause infection. So you won't stitch it, right? But you will surely stitch a wound which is in the Chala Santi Vyapasrita, which is moving and which has to be fixed by a stitching. So Sivana Karma is indicated in Chala Santi Vyapasrita. This needs a yukti only. You don't need, you can of course read this, by heart this, but even if you are confused, you can use your yukti here. Okay. So there are some questions where we can use our yukti, sit calm, relax, and use your brains. That will help you also. Now, the next one, I'm going in a bit fast because it's already, we are running out of time. So I'll make it a little bit fast. Okay. If you can't catch it, you can post in the chat box. I'll repeat. Okay. According to Sushruta, Krishna Unnata Vranatha is the Lakshana of which of the following Dagda? So there is Lakshana said for each type of Dagda, and Krishna Unnata Vranatha is the feature of Lakshana of which Dagda? That's the question. So for Twak, we'll answer every option. For Twak, imagine you are taking a shalaka, which is very hot, and keeping it on your skin, keeping it on your Twak. What is the sound that comes? Shh, that sound comes, right? When suddenly something gets burnt, that sound comes. So in Twak, there is Shabda Pradurbhava, there is sound. So in Twak, if it is the Dagda Lakshana of the Tat, there is Shabda Pradurbhava. Okay. And coming to Mamsa. Mamsa, usually we eat chicken, meat, all these things. Some of the birds also we eat. So you can assume that you are eating Kapoda. Kapota Mamsa. So in Mamsa, it is Kapota Varnata. Kapota Varnata. Yes, Gayatri, you're right. Sirasnayu. Okay. Sirasnayu, when it is burned, the usual color turns into dark black kind of thing, right? Any burned kind of vessels and all looks like very dark and black in color. So it is Krishna Unnata Vranata in Sira and Snayu. And coming to Asti and Sandhi, even if you burn that, it will be like very rough and it will be there. So it will be Karkasha Stira Vrana. Okay, so Asti and Sandhi, it is Karkasha Stira Vrana because it stays very rough. Asti and all, it's very rough, right? So you can correlate the term Karkasha with Asti. Sirasnayu becomes black, so that is Krishna Unnata Vranata. Mamsa, it is Kapota Varnata. Twak, there is the sound. Okay, so it is Shabda Pradur Bhav. So we have decoded the entire thing. Now, which of the following is not a Kshara dosha? Another very important area, Kshara dosha, indication, contraindication of all karmas, everything, all that area is very important. You have to study that by heart, using codes, whatever methods you can, you have to study that. And Kshara dosha is typically very important because it's kind of confusing also. So what is the Kshara dosha here? Is it Adhimardava? Is it Pichila? Is it Hinadravyata? Apakwata? What is the Kshara dosha here? Kshara dosha? Yes, yes. So this area is very important. So that's why I've put that question. All that indication, contraindication part is very important. Okay. So Kandur Gatranam Gauram Tata Shvayadur Vedana Ragas Sravas Brusham Bhavet are the complications that happen if Vranarogi underwent. So there are some typical contraindications for Vranarogi that is said. Okay. So this particular context is explained in the case of Divaswapna. So if the Vranarogi does Divaswapna, then he will get all this. Kandur Gatranam. So Gatranam Kandu, Gauravam will be there. Gatranam Gauravam will be there. Shvayadu, Vedana, Raga, Brishastrava, everything, all these symptoms will be there. So easily we'll put a code. You are a student. Okay, you all are students. If you're studying and you're sleeping in the class, what will your guru do? What will your guru do when you're sleeping in the class? He will beat you. He might beat you. Nowadays, gurus don't beat, but in the olden days, he will beat you and you will get a painful swelling. Okay. So when you are studying and you are sleeping in the class, your guru will beat you and you will get a painful swelling. Okay. Some of the points you'll get from this code. Guru stands for Gaurava, painful stands for Vedana and Raga, and swelling stands for Shvayadu. And when you are sleeping during studies, that means you are doing the Divaswapna. Okay, so this particular thing stands for Divaswapna. And coming to Ayasa, what will happen if the Vranarogi does Ayasa? What is the feature that happens when Vranarogi does Ayasa? It is Shvayadu, right? And what will happen if the Vranarogi does Jagrana? It is Shvayadu plus Raga. Okay, so we'll learn like a poem, a rhyming kind of poem. Aya Shvaya, Jaga Raga, Aya Shvaya, Jaga Raga. This 10 times you say it, now itself, you won't forget it ever. Okay, Aya Shvaya, Ayasa goes for Shvayadu, and Jaga Raga, Jagarna, Shvayadu plus Raga. Okay, so this is how we crack these kind of questions. Now, this is a very simple question, but very important. I just want to put forward that this might like sound simple. You might miss this. So please don't miss all these kinds of questions. Kinnodaga Pishta Samamaya is mentioned by Susruta for Prasara. All these kinds of simile words, no, that is very important. Okay, write it separately in a portion, in your code book or somewhere where you note the important points. You have to write all these simile kind of questions. Kinnodaga Pishta Samamaya, that's a simile, right? So that kind of questions are very important, and this goes for Prasara. Now, Madhucha Ushne Rushne is dash Viruddha as per Susruta. Madhucha Ushne Rushne. Which Viruddha? Madhucha Ushne Rushne. Which Viruddha? Come on. Oh, somebody had posted Raga. Okay, I didn't see it. Sorry. Yeah, Madhucha Ushne Rushne, Karma Viruddha. Yes, Karma Viruddha. How come? How will you learn that? How will you know if it's Samyoga Viruddha, if it's Mana Viruddha, if it's Karma Viruddha, Rasa Virya Vipaka Viruddha and all? This might not work. This trick might not work in all cases, but at least in some important points said, this might work. Yes, Karma Viruddha means there is a process in that. Some kind of karma is being said there. Okay, Madhu is heated. That is a karma we are doing, right? Or Madhu is mixed with Ushna property. That is a karma. So that goes in karma viruddha. All these kinds of things. I'll tell another example, that is Kamsya Bhajane Dasharatra Paryushitam Sarpi. The Sarpi which is kept in Dasharatra. So somebody should keep it. There is a karma involved in that, right? So that goes in karma viruddha. If it is Samyoga viruddha, you will have two names. Okay, Chilichima plus Paya, or Buddha plus Kagamaji. This kind of two names will be very importantly said there. Then you can assume that in most of the cases, then you can assume that is Samyoga viruddha. In Mana viruddha, the term will have an equal quantity thing in that. Mana viruddha means something in equal quantity. That equality will be specifically said there. Like Madhu plus Sarpi, Madhu plus Sneha, like these kinds of things, when it comes in equal amount, that will be a viruddha. Okay. And Rasa Virya Vipaka, it will be Rasa Virya Vipaka, like Madhura plus Kadu, Lavana plus Tikta, and all that. Okay. So this is a kind of a quick thing which works in most of the cases, but not in all cases. At least if you don't know any of these, if you want to answer this question to crack it, then you can use this. Okay. So this is an end way which you can use. Now, Grishtasu Chinnasu Vatvakshu Spodhe Binne Vidharite. What is the type of Drishta seen here as per Susutam Sutra? Another important area where Vranastravas are mentioned. And here, let's quickly discuss each and every one of them. Rakta Prakasha is very simple. From where does Rakta come? Rakta comes from Sira, right? Rakta comes from Sira. So Rakta Prakasha Strava comes from Sira. Let's just keep Singhanaga Prakasha aside and let's discuss Sarpi Prakasha. Sarpi Prakasha. So you have learned about some formulations like Mamsa Sarpi, right? Mamsa Sarpi is a formulation which we usually learn in Kaya Chikitsa. So you can take it here. Mamsa Sarpi. So it comes from Mamsa. Okay. Now Salila Prakasha and Singhanaga Prakasha. Just imagine that you are taking bath. You can take bath in two ways. You can take water, pour it over your skin. Okay. That is one way. You can go sink in some river or something. That is the second way. So two ways of taking bath. One is you can take water, pour it over your skin. So water is there on your skin. So Tvak Salila Prakasha. Okay. Next one, you go somewhere, you take snana by sinking in the pond. That means snana, snayu singhanaga prakasha. Okay. Very interesting, right? Very simple also. So I hope it's clear. Rekta, Sira, singhanaga, snana by sinking. That is snana stands for snayu. Sarpi, you can take it as mamsa sarpi. Salila, water droplets on skin when you are taking bath. That is Salila Prakasha from Twak. So here the answer is D. Now, let's discuss some quick questions, general questions also that came in last year's question paper. Number of Karna Rokas according to Susruta. Numbers are very, very, very important area. So number of Karna Rokas according to Susruta. Here 18, 25, 30, 28, everything is mentioned. I'll just tell you a story. That is the code which we use to learn all the numbers. Sir's daughter, okay, Sir's daughter, who is 18-year-old, got married. Okay. Vagbada came for the wedding and he gave a silver earring. Okay. Seeing this, Susruta got angry and he pierced the ear with a shalaka of Vagbada and asked, hey, are you giving a silver earring for a wedding? Okay, that is the story. Simple story. Now we'll decode it. Sir's daughter, who is 18-year-old. Sir stands for Sharngadara, 18 stands for 18 Karnarokas that Sharngadara has said. Vagbada gave a silver earring. Vagbada and silver. Vagbada, silver stands for 25. Usually silver jubilee is celebrated when we are 25 years, right? Something 25 years old, we celebrate the silver jubilee. So silver stands for 25. So Vagbada has said 25. So Susruta got angry and he pierced the ear with shalaka. Okay. So here two codes are mentioned. Pierce the ear, that is the number of Karnarokas, and Shalaka is also 28 a number according to Susruta. So you have to learn the number 28 here by heart. Then it will be easy. Okay. So you get all Acharya's number in one simple story. Okay. So here the answer is 28 according to Susruta. Now, Kushta occurs in which layer of Tvak as per Susruta? This is another important area, layers of Tvak and the diseases which comes in each layer. Here, one layer, that is Vedhini. Okay. Vedhini is discussed. So you can take it as a code. Due to Kushta, I did not get visa to go abroad. Okay, I had Kushta. So I did not get visa to go abroad, and that caused Vedhana to me. That caused so much of pain to me. I couldn't withstand that pain. Okay, so Kushta stands for Kushta. Visa stands for Visarpa and Vedhana stands for Vedhini. So here Kushta and Visarpa happens in Vedhini layer. And for the rest of the layers also, codes are available. But as time constraints are there, I'm not explaining everything. You can join Drona Institute to know more. Okay, next 2 more questions pending, I guess. Quickly, this is easy. This is another one from Susrutam Sutram, and very important, like indications, contraindications. Pitta Prakrita, Andashonita, Bhinna Koshta, Anudhrada Shalya. These people are non-selective for which parasurgical procedure. See, they have translated options. So you might get confused, which is acne, which is kshara and all. Chemical cauterization, thermal cauterization, bloodletting with leech, bloodletting with syringe. So thermal cauterization is with heel, right? So that is acne. Chemical cauterization is kshara. And all these are contraindicated for acne garma. Okay, so here the answer is B. So this I have specifically put because you might get confused when the English names come. So please don't get confused with it. Be ready with the English names also, especially for payana, like that kinds of words are there in Susruta Sutra, right? For payana, that is tempering, and these kinds of words. All those you have to be ready with the English version, and don't worry, Drona Institute will provide that in the notes. According to Vagbada, Krichrat Charvana Bhashanam is the Lakshana of. This is another one important area where Vada Vyadi is discussed. It has a lot of Lakshanas, specific Lakshanas in it. Krichrat Charvana Bhashana. What is the answer? What is the answer? Come on. Come on, everybody. Post it. What is the answer? Hanusramsa. Very good, very good. I can see some answers coming in. So let me ask you one question. Annapana Vakeshu Nishata. What is it? Which roga? Annapana Vakeshu Nishata. Keep going. Not Ardita. Jihvastamba. Very good. Ardita, Jihvastamba. See, this is where you confuse. That's why I asked. You might get confused. Similar things are said in Ardita also, but specifically Annapana Vakeshu Nishata is said in Jihvastamba, and Krichrat Sarvana Bhashana is said in Hanusramsa. So that is where you should specifically learn all those symptoms. No worries, you have just started. You still have time, so don't worry about that. Okay. According to Madhavanidhana, Muhurdaha Muhushita is the clinical feature of which Jwara? What will you answer? Are you going to study every feature of Madhavanidhana also? This is not possible, right? You're not going to do that. I know. At least you won't get the time to revise it on that end day. You will skip all these. So what will be the answer? How will you guess this answer? Yukti. Muhurdaha, Muhurshita goes here and there, heat and cold. So you can go for Sleshma Pitta Jwara if you don't know the answer. Correct? Sometimes it is heat. That stands for Pitta. Sometimes it is very cold. That stands for Sleshma. So it could be Sleshma Pitta Jwara. You can give it a try if you're like, you don't have much correct answers. You don't feel that you should leave the hall without answering this. Then you can go for a like wild guess. This will work. Okay. Sometimes you have to use your Yukti also. So that's all for today. We have discussed 50 questions successfully. And I guess that's all from our part. So thank you all for joining. All the very best to all of you. You guys are going to do wonderful job. We know, as Dr. Ganesh said in the beginning, you are our magic. Drona's magic lies in your hands. We are just there to mold you and guide you. So just be very, very, very confident. Follow what your gurus are telling you. And just sometimes I get queries, from students of Drona. Ma'am, is this enough? Is this enough to crack the exam? They feel it like the notes are not enough or the classes are not enough. But trust us, with all our experience, we have formulated all the important areas, and we almost it's working also. So that's why I'm pretty confident saying this. We almost know the important areas. So we have made it important in your notes and your classes. So trust us. Follow what we are telling. Follow your samhitas, learn your samhitas properly. Please do not skip that at all. Do self-reading, do read each and every line of the samhitas. And as Dr. Namita was telling, nowadays Dravya Guna has become another important topic. So please learn your drugs as well. I wish you all the very best. Next year, probably some of you or all of you will be sitting here in this kind of webinars and discussing your success stories. And yes, okay, great. This question lecture will be available in the YouTube. Drona Ayurveda, we have a channel. You can go to the YouTube channel, and when you select the live section, this will be. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Good night. Bye.